2020 has been a year to remember for all the wrong reasons, but we all already know that, you don't need me to tell you. In today's video, I'll be reliving 2020 month by month, remembering both the good and the bad with fun activities and challenges. And of course, I'm taking you along for the ride. Let's get started. Tragically, here in Australia, the year started off with some of the worst bushfires we've ever seen. But since I don't want to dwell on the negatives of 2020 in this video, because let's be honest, there's a lot of them and I'm sure you don't need to be reminded, I'm just going to focus on the staying cool aspect of January 2020. This first challenge is to make myself a cooling drink that I can sip on and pretend everything is going to be fine. Delicious. See, this year is totally going to be fine. Alright, February 2020 meant back to school. Don't know why I sounded so excited when I said that. So, for this challenge to prepare myself for a new school year, I'm going to read some textbooks. I know, not very exciting, but trust me, the challenges get a lot more interesting as the year goes on. And finished. Now I feel like I'm ready for the school year. Except it's already finished. Around the time of March 2020, our world changed forever. That may sound a bit dramatic, but this is around the time when we had to go into lockdown because of this new coronavirus. To celebrate this? Celebrate is definitely the wrong word here, but whatever. I'm going to try to make a custom face mask. Wearing these will help stop the spread, so why not make it a fashion statement too? Yes, mine will probably turn out looking pretty rubbish, but at least this should be fun. By the way, I just wanted to add a mini disclaimer of sorts. Please don't feel that I'm belittling the whole pandemic situation. It's absolutely awful, and I realize that it has severely impacted everyone. But for this video, I'm specifically trying not to focus on the negatives and instead recreate the months of 2020 in a hopefully entertaining way. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, with that out of the way, time to start working on the mask. I'm gonna try and use whiteboard markers because they're what I've got nearby, and also I think they might work on this weird material that they're made out of. Alright. Honestly, I think I'm a bit tired. I can't think of any creative ideas for what I want to draw on this, so I think I'm just going to write 2020 and hopefully that'll look kind of decent. Yeah, okay, these whiteboard markers are not working as well as I'd hoped they would. It is not looking great so far. Here's what I've got. I'll just add some finishing touches to it and then I can reveal the final result. And it's finally done. It does look awful, but I guess in a way that kind of represents the mess that the year 2020 has been. Focus, please. Focus here. I don't know if it's focused. What do you think? Should I do the rest of the video with this on? By the way, if you're new here and you're enjoying this video, why not subscribe and hit that bell icon? I'm Elena, and here on the Etypical channel, you'll find more fun challenges like this one. This year, April meant Easter, and you know what Easter means? Chocolate! My challenge for April 2020 is to go on a mini Easter egg hunt. Obviously, I couldn't really buy any Easter eggs at this time of year, so I've gone with some other chocolates instead. Delicious. Around this time of year, sick of wasting time in lockdown, I decided to take this seriously and make the most of it. I was determined to become productive. I started making my bed every day, getting up at 6 o'clock and going for morning walks. Of course, like most resolutions like that, it didn't last long. But for this activity, I'm going to try to revive that brief period of healthier living and productivity by doing a quick but hopefully super effective clean of my room. If you want to see me try a crazy 100 healthy habits for 24 hours, I made a video where I did just that, so make sure to check that out next if you haven't already. The cold months are upon us, or they were anyway. So even though it's summer now and therefore really hot, I'm going to dress up in super warm clothes just like I did back in June of 2020. Ta-da! Now I feel more ridiculous than cozy, but that's alright. Do you have a favourite winter activity for when it's cold outside? Let me know in the comments. This is it, the month it all started. The month when the boredom finally became too much, so I decided to start a YouTube channel. And well, I'm still working on this whole YouTube thing, but if you're watching this video, then you'll know that what I created is the Etypical channel. Anyway, my challenge for July is to rank all my videos so far in a tier list. A tier list still a thing anymore? I honestly have no idea, but I'm doing it anyway. And even if you've watched all my videos, you'll probably be surprised by some of my favourites. So here we go, and don't worry, I'm going to speed through this as fast as I can. So my very first video. I think it was a pretty cool idea and definitely unique, but the execution was, yeah, not good. Which obviously is fair enough because it was my first video I'd ever filmed. But based off of that, I think it's gonna have to go down here. Yeah, sorry. Now, that doesn't mean I hate it. I still really like it and I'm so happy that I did it because otherwise I never would have got started. But I do think when you compare it to the videos I'm making now, it's definitely at the bottom. Simply because it's that first video I made and I didn't have any experience. Next, this one. You know, I think I've changed my mind actually. The idea of the first one was solid enough for it to go up to a D, and this one is gonna end up right down the bottom there in F. Quarantine life hacks. C. It was fun, I liked it. Maybe a D? But again, D doesn't mean I don't like it, it just means it's not the best. This one I loved. It was so much fun to film, and I'm pretty sure it was fun to watch too. This is definitely an A because Gusto Choo Choo is amazing. This one, I was really happy with that idea. I think it's unique. I couldn't find anyone who's done anything like that before. The actual filming of the video didn't go very well and I wasn't super happy with it at first, but then as I edited it, I felt that it kind of started to come together and I really liked it. Ooh, okay, my Among Us video, which has about 100 times as many views as most other videos on my channel. So you might expect me to really like this. Basically, I wanted to capitalize on the whole Among Us thing and I knew it was already starting to die down a bit. That's why, although I still like this video, and obviously lots of other people do too, which I really appreciate, I feel like it's probably not the one I'm most proud of. Now, although this is one of my least popular videos, I loved filming it and it meant a lot to me actually. It's gonna have to go in S. Not because it's a masterpiece of a video, but just because it felt like a culmination of all the things I'd learned so far, if that makes any sense. And finally, my most recent video before this, my Christmas challenge. This one purely because I tried a lot of new things with the editing, some of which I loved, some of which I don't think work so well, but that's okay because that's what I was experimenting with them for. And because it was so much fun to film and one of the few videos I can actually almost watch back without cringing, it's gonna go in S for me. So there it is, my tier list of the 2020 Etypical channel videos. Do you agree? Probably not. Do you even care? Probably not, but that's understandable. I'll probably change my mind about these rankings about 50 times, even between the time I'm filming this and the time the video goes up, but whatever. This was what I was thinking at the time. Realistically, they're all very close together and I like them all. This was around the time of the year when the game Among Us went completely viral. Back in August 2020, when it really started taking off, all anyone wanted was an amazing imposter win. So for this challenge, I'm going to play Among Us until I win as imposter. Knowing my luck, this may take hours, but we'll see how it goes. Finally, there we go. That did take ages, but it was a lot of fun. I listened to a lot of music during quarantine, and it really helped me get through it. So, to commemorate September 2020, because I particularly listened to a lot of music around this time of the year, I'm going to create a playlist that's full of songs that represent this year for me in different ways. And if this video hits 100 likes, I'll release the playlist. I know that's practically impossible, which is great for me because I'm embarrassed about sharing my music taste, but let's see if you guys can prove me wrong. Well, the main holiday thing that happened in October was Halloween. For this challenge, I won't be trying terrible Halloween costume ideas because I've already done that for my special Halloween video this year. No, for this month's challenge, I'll be carving some virtual pumpkins. I'm gonna be honest, not a whole lot happened in November. And yes, I'm just gonna ignore the entire US presidential election because I do not want to get political on YouTube. Anyway, I basically spent most of the month being stressed about school because it's nearing the end of the year, so the teachers were piling on tests and exams, and that's not something I want to relive. So for November 2020's challenge, I've had to resort to the season. Here, November is in spring. Spring is when new plants grow, so I'm going to replace this plant here with a new one. It's finally the end of the year, which means 2021 is just around the corner. Who knows what it'll bring? Well, I don't, that's for sure, but I can at least set some New Year's resolutions so I know what I want to focus on. Let's be honest, I'll probably fail these within a week or so, but I'm gonna set them anyway and see if I can stick with them. And thankfully, that brings us to the end of 2020. I know that for me, sometimes it felt like it would never end. I hope we all have a much better year in 2021. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next year.